So raise your hand if you live in Tornado Alley and have seen the original Twister movie more times than you can count. Yep, that's me too. So I went into this movie obviously a little bit biased since I live in Texas and definitely frequent Oklahoma because I live in such close proximity to it. And I didn't know if I was going to judge this movie too harshly because I love the original so much, or if I was going to actually love it because it brought back a lot of good memories and notes from the original. So I'm going to tell you what I think next. So for me, the original honestly is a 10 out of 10. I know that it did not age well. The graphics in it definitely leave a lot to be desired when you go back and watch it now. However, for what it was at the time, I thought it was mind-blowing when I watched it as a kid. So I have always loved the movie. There's just something so great about the chemistry of the actors in that movie. Obviously I made a whole shirt for me and my husband of the movie. But anyway, so yeah, I just really love the comedy in it. I like that there's a lot of, disaster and cool, twister shots, but it's just one of those throwbacks that you watch, anytime you think about it, to be honest. I mean, I probably watch it a handful of times a year, if not more. So I was really excited to see this movie, and I was definitely not disappointed. So a couple of the tests that I do when I watch a movie, one is the trailer test. So was the movie as good as the trailer? Did it spoil too much? How did it compare? So this one definitely does pass the trailer test. Even though there are a lot of the big parts or big moments in the trailer, doesn't spoil it. There's enough comedy and enough action going on throughout the movie, and I mean nonstop from the opening scene all the way to the end. It is basically nonstop action, very similar to the first one. There's just enough story and action to keep you engaged the whole time. You don't really get bored, and there's enough funny that it does draw you into the characters and give you just enough to like them. So I definitely appreciated all of that about it. For that reason, it also passed something I call the husband sleep test. So my husband won't stay awake if he is not fully engaged in a movie, and he did not fall asleep in this one. He really enjoyed it. We both just kind of laughed at all the right moments, and we did notice a lot of great little hints to the old one, like mirroring that happened, which were done in all the right ways. This movie definitely does not try to recreate the magic of the original. It just takes some of those overall themes and redoes them for the new generation with a whole lot better graphics. So for all those reasons, it is an amazing watch start to finish. I highly recommend you go see this in theaters, especially if you like the old one. It is everything you'd want in a sequel to this movie, especially because we can't have a lot of the main actors from the original in it, because a lot of them have passed away, unfortunately. Rest in peace, Bill Paxton and Philip Seymour Hoffman, who are amazing actors. And this movie definitely brings back a lot of the nostalgia from that movie without trying to just duplicate it. And that is such a refreshing thing for them to do, and to do it well, because I've been kind of disappointed lately at the box office. I don't know how you feel, but lately I have felt that some of the movies that they're coming out with sometimes are honestly a unnecessary reboot to something that we really didn't need redone. This one was a long-awaited movie. I mean, everyone I know is always like, I can't believe they didn't make a follow-up movie to the Twister movie since it's such a beloved movie. But I think this one was perfectly timed. Even though the main actors from the original one couldn't be reprising their roles, even though it has been a long time, it didn't lose any of that same vibe and feeling of the original, which I think is really hard to do. So the subtle hints that you pick up that are very similar are, of course, the same red truck, the iconic red truck from the original kind of makes its own parallel in this one. Same to the main female character's outfit choices, and some of her scenes are definitely throwbacks to the original. And there's just some really great parallels that I liked. Also, it kind of throws some of the dynamics of the original and just kind of flips him around, but in a really great way. And I'm not going to go too far into any of that because I don't want to spoil it for you, and I definitely want you to see it. But it changes some things around, but in such a way that refreshes the storyline. So I really enjoyed that part of it. And again, great comedy. The whole thing just kind of had a great flow to it. There wasn't really anything too slow. And yeah, it was just a fun watch start to finish. So I'm highly looking forward to when it does come out on home release. I do always like to mention whether I would rewatch or buy a movie once it comes out. Absolutely, I would buy this one because I'm excited to actually watch both of them back to back, the original and the new one, because they're just, you know, the original is such a classic, and I've always loved it, still love it, still watch it to this day. And this new one just flows really well into the things that we loved about the original. So you won't be disappointed if you like the original, and honestly, if you just like disaster movies in general, you're going to enjoy this movie. So highly recommend watching it. This movie was definitely a solid 8 out of 10. Some fun facts that I will end this video on is that I actually did go on a road trip with my husband and my mom not too long ago to the Oklahoma area where the original was filmed, and that was a blast, even though there wasn't a ton to see in the area. But I did get to see the actual site where they had built Meg's house, and it's not there anymore. Obviously they actually tore it all apart for the actual movie and then completely did away with it. But they have this garden there with little wind chimes that kind of look like the movie. So I thought that was pretty cool. You also see the water tower in some of our pictures, where same area where you see Joe's character, and you see the water tower in the background. So those were pretty cool to see. And then there's a small little museum that they have there, and there's not a whole lot to see in there, but they do have Dorothy in that museum, and so it was really, really neat to be able to take some pictures with that, and of that. They have a Twister pinball machine there, and it was just kind of a fun little trip. We like road tripping to Oklahoma City every now and then, so that's just one of those things that was on our bucket list to see because we love the movie so much, and because we were so incredibly bummed that we missed the opportunity to see the Twister the ride at Universal, which, if you've seen any of my Universal videos, you know that we visit Universal since the first time we've been there. We visit pretty much every year for Halloween Horror Nights now, and it's just one of our favorite places to go for vacation. We love roller coasters. We love the vibe of Universal because it really immerses you into the movie experience. So when we heard that they had a Twister the ride, and it was before we ever got to go to Universal, we were so heartbroken that we didn't get to actually experience it. So going to this little museum was kind of the next best thing for us to be able to actually see some cool stuff from the movie. So one of those things that I would, recommend doing if you happen to be passing through Oklahoma in that area. I don't know that I would plan a trip specifically for that purpose if I live somewhere far, but if you happen to be passing through there, not a bad idea to check it out. Might be a fun thing for you to do if it's a movie that you hold near and dear to your heart like I do. But anyway, definitely love the movie. Highly recommend going to see it in theaters. Let me know if you do see it in theaters in the comments, what you liked about it, what you rate it, and also what's the next movie you're looking forward to seeing most in theaters. I know the next movie for me on my list is the movie Trap. It's the M. Night Shyamalan movie. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that and doing a review for you guys on that one once I get to see it. But thanks so much for watching my review, and if you're not a subscriber, definitely hit that subscribe button if you would like to see me make more content, and thanks so much for watching.